Hi, I'm Diane Cometa, and today on Dishin with Di, I'm making old-fashioned chocolate cupcakes. These cupcakes have the perfect amount of chocolate flavor and they're light and fluffy. Let's get these cupcakes started today on Dishin with Di. You need some softened, unsalted butter, some granulated sugar, an egg that's been lightly whisked, vanilla extract, and some buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, I have a buttermilk substitute recipe, so I'll leave a link for that. You also need some all-purpose flour, some unsweetened cocoa powder, salt, and baking soda. It's important that you sift the unsweetened cocoa powder after you measure it. There's usually lumps in there, and you want to make sure you get all of those out. The first thing you should do is preheat your oven to 325 degrees and then line a muffin tin with cupcake liners. Now, I've taken my all-purpose flour, my unsweetened cocoa powder, and my salt and baking soda, and I've whisked those together in this bowl here. So I'm just going to set this aside and start with my wet ingredients. So first, you want to take your mixer. If you have a hand mixer, use that, or if you have a stand mixer, and you're going to start with your softened unsalted butter, and you're going to put that in here and just lightly whip it up. Okay, that looks good. And now I'm going to gradually add in my sugar. Now you want to start with this on low. We're going to cream these together, but you don't want to put it on high right away. You just want to start low and then jack up the speed a little bit as you go along. Okay, and that's what you're looking for. It's nice and creamy and well incorporated. Just make sure as you go along, if you see it sticking up against the sides, that you give it a good scrape down. And then add your egg. Just gradually pour this down the side of the bowl. Just start with the mixer on low and pour it in slowly. And then turn your mixer up. Now I'm just going to give this a little scrape down. Okay, so that's nice and fluffy. That's what we're looking for there, okay? And now I'm going to add in my vanilla extract. I'm just going to beat this up a little bit more. Okay, now I'm ready to add in my dry ingredients and my buttermilk. Now, my buttermilk's been sitting here for a couple minutes, so I'm just going to whisk this a little bit to just make sure nothing has settled. Kind of separates after it's sitting for a while. And again, this is at room temperature. So first, we're going to add in a good portion of our dry ingredients. When we add the liquid in, then we're working on forming some gluten. And that's when things can get tough. So you don't want to overmix at that point. But now you want to mix and the bulk of your flour goes in. And now I'm going to pour in some, not all, of my buttermilk, and I'm going to drizzle this down the side. I don't want it to just go all flying in there. I want it to slowly incorporate into this mixture. So I'm going to turn my mixer on low. And I think I'm going to just give it a quick scrape down. Just make sure everything's going well here. You know, sometimes with these stand mixers, the very bottom always has something. There's always a little something there, isn't there? You think they'd figure out how to stop that from happening. Okay, that looks good. And now I'm going to add some more of my flour in. You just want to mix this until it's incorporated. You don't want to over-mix it. And you always want to start and end with the flour. And now I'm going to add some more of my buttermilk in. Basically adding the rest of it. Little scrape. and then the last of the flour goes in. Okay, I don't want to go any more than that. What I'm going to do is just by hand kind of fold it over. So make sure there's nothing laying at the very bottom there. And we're ready to fill up our muffin tins now. You just want to fill these halfway. Now once the liners are filled, just give it a couple taps down on the counter to get any air bubbles out. Now I'm going to take this and put this into my preheated oven, 325 degrees, for approximately 20 minutes. Now you can check them with a toothpick, and when you put that in and it comes out clean, then you know they're done. My cupcakes are done, and now I'm frosting them with my freshly made buttercream frosting. Doesn't that look like it came from a bakery? Beautiful, right? This is my buttercream frosting, so I'll leave a link for that. I just made this, and I also have a beautiful cream cheese frosting that's very popular too, so I'll leave a link for that as well. When I took them out of the oven, I let them sit for about 5 to 10 minutes in the tray, and then I moved them over to the cooling rack. So I took them out of the muffin tin and I just put them on the cooling rack until they cooled completely. I, have to show you, what we have here, and I'm just going to taste it. So light and fluffy and airy. Okay, so the full recipe is on my website, dishinwithdi.com. Don't forget to go over there for this, for the buttercream frosting, for the cream cheese frosting, and anything else your little heart desires. And don't forget to subscribe for regular updates. I hope I made your life a little easier, more enjoyable, and delicious. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.